Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing another comic book review. Today we are going to be reviewing the 6-issue limited series, Dceased. And I read this on the DC Infinite Unlimited app, I think it's what it's called. They were doing like this promotion where you signed up, even if you didn't get like an actual account or like an actual subscription, you could still get like the 6 books in the series for free and like read them. So I joined in, did the free 7-day trial, and then I read them that way. It was actually pretty good. I really like the service, but I don't think that I like enough old comics, or I'm interested in enough older comics to kind of like buy the service. But it was nice to be able to read it, to read the Dceased storyline through the app. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, Dceased is written by Tom Taylor and it's illustrated by Trevor Harrison, with inking by Stefano Guadiano, I guess is how you say his name. And the publisher obviously here is DC. The demographic here is unclear. I think comic books are all kind of always unclear. Some of them are very like adult, but some of them are also very not. This one definitely falls more on the adult side of things. This is maybe, I don't know, PG-13 plus kind of. So I don't know, like YA into adult fantasy, if that makes sense. And the genres here are superhero, zombie apocalypse, and I guess there's elements of horror here, which is why I'm reviewing this in October. It's kind of like the thematic element that we're going with this month. And it currently doesn't have an adaptation, obviously, but it does have some spin-off series or series that are like tie-ins. I don't know what the difference between a spin-off and a tie-in is, but basically, there's like 2 or 3 other series that are also to do with the Dceased storyline, which is pretty cool. I actually am interested in checking those out as well. So yeah. Now, the premise here is that Cyborg gets taken by Apocalypse. Apparently, he has half of the anti-life equation in his body because he has mother box technology or something like that. And Apocalypse wants it. Eventually, Apocalypse does obtain this anti-life equation, but now it's a techno-organic virus, so it spreads both organically and through technology, which is kind of insane. That basically means it kills everything, right? And it's back on Earth and it's taking over the world. It's infecting everyone with this zombie-esque kind of affliction, right? And basically, DC meets the zombie apocalypse. That's what this storyline is supposed to be. And it's pretty good. Tom Taylor is pretty interesting writer. I read Dark Ages by him. If you guys checked out that video, or if you haven't, it's right there, I think. I always forget what side the cards are, but should be up there. And he's a very interesting writer. I really enjoy his like take on things. So it's kind of interesting to see his take on DC. Now, I'm not the biggest DC guy around. I don't know everything about the series or about the company and all of the characters, but I found that all of the characters that were used were characters that I knew something about, at least a little bit, right? So it was actually really nice to be able to be familiar with the characters, but also see them in like a very different light. I thought it was really, really good. And I guess that's really the appeal of a lot of what Tom Taylor writes. So, good stuff there. Now, the plot line here is actually really good stuff. It moves at a very fast clip. It like starts and it doesn't really stop until the end. And a lot of stuff is happening. Maybe not the most like action-packed in reality. Like, even though it's a zombie apocalypse and superheroes are fighting zombies, there really isn't so much action. And of course, this has to do with the psychological issue of like, I knew this person before they were a zombie. Can I kill them, kind of thing? Which is actually a really, really kind of good thing to make important in a zombie kind of apocalypse thing. I thought it was really interesting. But it basically is like the world goes to ruins really quickly. Stuff is so bad that all the superheroes and supervillains have to join forces, and they have to try to save the world because they basically have like, this is bigger than their rivalry, so they have to join forces and team up. And shit hits the fan eventually. I don't really want to spoil anything too interesting, because I think that there's some really awesome, compelling things that are best left to be read. So I'm not gonna really talk too much in depth about the plotline stuff. So that's basically it for that. I thought it was really, really well done. The speed was great, and the motion of the art, the way the art led into itself across the narration was really good. I liked it a lot. In terms of characters, though, I mean, it's just normal character stuff. I mean, all of the heroes and villains are more or less whatever you could consider their standard edition, their standard version of the character, even if they are dealing with things they might have never dealt with before, which causes them to act differently. They're still kind of like whatever you can think of as like the standard version of that character. So I mean, it's not horrible. I mean, I think the character work here is pretty well done. I mean, it's consistent with like the vast majority of things, or at least it feels consistent with what I have seen of the DC universe. So I think it's pretty well done. And I think the focus here is really on John Kent and Damian Wayne. Basically, it's not really a passing of the mantle, but rather more of a like time to step up, kind of thing. Maybe even a coming of age moment for both of them. And I thought it was really, really interesting. I thought it was really cool. I haven't really read much with John Kent and Damian Wayne before, so I thought it was really interesting to see them in this series. But I mean, this is a very me-specific topic, so I don't know. I don't want to expound on that too much. And there was this really awesome development with Black Canary that I thought was fucking awesome. I thought that was super, super cool. And I don't know, I think it's really well done. So yeah, characters here were very good. The character work was really nice. And the way that the characters were set up in order to have those emotional impacts was actually quite well done as well. So Tom Taylor did a great job with that. In terms of world building, it's actually pretty minimal. There really isn't too much to do in terms of world building beyond the first issue, which basically just sets up the two halves of the anti-life equation, the anti-life equation coming together and then turning into a zombie virus thing. And of course, this comes from the mother boxes as far as I can remember. And that's basically it in terms of world building. Everything else is just like, how does this apocalypse affect the world, and how do the heroes and villains react to it, which is pretty par for the course. I mean, it's they join forces and they save the world kind of thing, right? But overall, I think the world building was good. The small amount of it that had to be explained was explained quite well, and I really have no complaints in terms of world building, so that was really good. In terms of artwork, I think it's super good. It's some awesome stuff. It has some very beautiful but very gory, kind of like horrific kind of scenes, which is really, really good. And of course, it makes sense because it's a zombie kind of thing. Of course, you would have these kind of very grotesque situations happen, and I think it's very, very good. The character designs were good. The way the characters were drawn was really good. The way the horror aspects pulled through the art was really good. The paneling, the pacing, the blocking of the shapes of the characters was really good. Overall, the art was just really, really nice. But I don't really have too much more to say about the art, so there you go. And that's basically it. I mean, there wasn't any like fan service, which is one of the topics I usually talk about in manga. So moving right along with that. So the rating here is a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really, really good. But it wasn't really my favorite thing ever. Like, it was like super awesome, but like it didn't blow my socks off, which is kind of weird because, or maybe it's not that weird, because I had heard a lot of people say that Dceased, was like a really awesome kind of story. And it was definitely awesome, but it wasn't really as awesome as everyone else makes it out to be, which is maybe like a subconscious hipster thing on my part. It's like, oh, everyone hyped it up, so it's not as good as everyone said kind of thing. I don't necessarily think that's true. I just think that it was really interesting, but nothing about it was so interesting that it kind of really blew my mind in any major way. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I thought the concept was really cool. I thought the execution was really good, but there wasn't anything kind of like, wow, this is amazing kind of moment, right? And also the fact that like it kind of felt like it ended halfway, which I mean it's totally fair if that's like the intended purpose, but like there's a lot more stuff going on. Obviously there's a bunch of tie-ins, so like where's the rest of the series? This is a very kind of maybe incorrect way of looking at it from my part, since I am pretty new to comics. So if it is, let me know down in the comments. Obviously, maybe comic books just work that way and I'm not really aware. That could be a case. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if that's kind of a fair complaint or not. But yeah, good stuff. I definitely recommend it. If you enjoy zombie stuff and superhero stuff, you should probably read this. I think you'll enjoy both. Or you'll enjoy it because you enjoy both. I'm not really like the biggest zombie fan. Like that genre doesn't really appeal to me all that much. It's just like, you've seen one, you've seen all of them. The difference is how the characters react to it. But this one, with the added kind of like super powered aspect, kind of changes the game a little bit for me, and so that's why I gave it a chance. And I'm happy that I did, but I don't really feel like compelled to read any more like other zombie stuff. So we'll see. In terms of similar titles, I'm not really sure. I don't really have any that I have read personally. I mean, I've read the first issue of Dark Ages, but that really isn't that similar. It's just written by the same guy. But I know that there's a Marvel What If story that has zombies, which I think is actually a What If episode on Disney Plus. I'm not too sure actually, but stuff like that, zombie stuff. If you like zombies, I was gonna try to recommend a zombie manga, but I've not actually read any, so can't really think of anything off the top of my head. So that was a really useless similar title section. And I do apologize for that, but I don't really read that much zombie stuff. So yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I do have a coffee now, so if you guys want to support the channel in a monetary fashion, please do check out the link in the description. And like I said, I really do appreciate you guys, so thank you guys very much. See you guys later.